You know how they always want women to change our names when we get married? This story is crazy. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, that's Nikki Haley. Okay, I don't even know where to start with her. Definitely hates women. Definitely subscribes to white supremacy culture. All the things, right? Republican. Okay, we don't need to go. But this in the New York Times is fascinating insight into her marriage. I have never before seen a story. Look at my dog. He's just living his best life. I swear to God, he's awake sometimes. Just never when I'm recording. Something about me talking makes him chill. Anyway, y'all know all the time I talk about how I understand why women change their names when they get married. I don't judge those women, but I also think it's sucks and it's unfair, and I want it to not be normalized so much anymore. I understand when you have children involved. Like, there's a whole lot of factors, but as a woman who my entire career hinges on my name and always has, ain't no way I was ever giving up my name. No, it was never even, I would never even consider that, because I've worked so hard as a writer, comedian, storyteller, journalist. Like, this literally my whole career is about my name, right? If I change it, I have to start over, more or less. And I've seen a lot of women, especially in the comedy world, actresses, writers, have to start over because they got married and then they changed their name. And I'm like, wait, well, I don't even remember who they are anymore. It ruins women's careers. And it's not just like, in the arts and stuff. Apparently, and I've learned this from people who follow me, if you are, do research, a lot of women who are, professors or who have, write research papers, like scientists and all that stuff, your name is also super important, and your work is tied to your name. And so a lot of them have told me horror stories about women having to change their name to get married to, appease the ego of an insecure man. And also, it's very different in countries all over the world. But in the United States, for anyone who doesn't know, it is absolutely normalized for women to just get rid of their name, just change it. It's not hyphenating is more, normalized now, and like a combination and blah blah blah. But like here in France, they do not lose their name ever. I mean, it's always it's in every document, as far as I know, is a woman's maiden name, which I know. So I'm gonna be like, well, it's her dad's name anyway. Like, it's always a man name attached to our name, and I hate that. But I have been Melanie Hamlet since the day I was born. I am not changing that ever. Especially since apparently I hit the jackpot with my name. I hated it for the longest time, and then I moved to New York and was in improv and started comedy, and all the theater nerds are like, your last name is Hamlet? Are you kidding me? And I was like, what? I hate it, because people, would say like ham and omelet, blah, blah, blah. But now I don't care. I love it. To be or not to be. And, the Hamlet side of my family is nothing but drama. So, it all makes sense. It's perfect. So there's no way I am changing my name ever. And I'm insulted that any man would ever think I would, and no man has. Yet, it is still like weird that I didn't. But anyway, back in the US, I don't even know how to find friends from high school, because I don't know what their married name is now. And then when your husband cheats on you and leaves you for someone 20 years younger to start a whole new family or do it and continue the cycle of whatever, now women are stuck with this name of a man who sucks that they hate. But to go change their name back to their maiden name is oftentimes weird. Or, and so they have to carry it. Their children have the name of a man that wronged them so much, right? Like, and the men who don't even raise these kids get their name attached. So I fully support women who are like tapping out of taking men's name and naming their children after these men. I get why people do. I get that the system pressures women to do this and makes it difficult if you don't. But I'm sorry, but having to get a passport or driver, DMV, banks, all this stuff, credit cards, everything has to change because you get married. So a man who is like really insistent that you take his name, that's an insecure man. That's a red flag. It's a level of entitlement that, like, this man is like a baby level of like understanding patriarchy. And if you're a feminist, you're going to have to teach him a lot. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to teach them everything about patriarchy? Now, tired. So, back to Nikki Haley. Oh my God, this video is all over the place, but I'm hyper, whatever. Look at him. So in this article from the New York Times, not feeling your partner's name? Just change it. And what's so funny is that this is literally how men think of us. Right? So it's fascinating to see a woman. I can't stand this woman because of everything she's doing, and she is literally doing the patriarchy's work for them, like so many of us women. Men don't have to do much because we'll do it for them. But I just think this is like so weird, and also like seems like something a man would do. And this is the author, and I love this. This gives a whole new level of insight into Nikki Haley's brain. I don't want to know anything else about it, but I appreciate this completely like different angle because it says a lot. So back when Nikki was dating her now husband, she took a look at him and asked him what his name was. Puzzled, he told her it was Bill, which she already knew. You just don't look like a Bill. What's your whole name? And he answered, William Michael. From that point on, I started calling him Michael. And all my friends did the same. Like, this is what she wrote in her memoir, Can't is Not an Option. Okay, I hate that title. Can't is an option. Sometimes you need to can't. Sometimes you need to won't. Sometimes you need to stop. Before we knew it, he was universally known as Michael. Everyone who knew him before I did knows him as Bill. And everyone who came after, who met him after I did, knows him as Michael. He looks like a Michael. You're renaming a grown man? What? Mr. Haley even went by that name in a South Carolina newspaper's bridal registry announcement in '96 ahead of the couple's wedding. He still continues to go by Michael. Bill, are you in there? What is wrong with you? That's not love. I'm sorry. Somebody looks at me and is like, if someone ever looked at me and was like, yeah, I don't like your name, Melanie. You're Beth. And then I just start going by Beth? Fuck off! Okay, so the rest of the article goes into like why people might have a reaction to names. Why, like both of my exes, by the way. The abuser, who I talk about all the time, the hobo, like who ate dog food and pretended to sew up a bullet hole wound with dental floss, blah. He had the same name as my ex-boyfriend from high school, who served a 10-year prison, whatever. What do you call it? It's not engagement. What is it? Served 10 years of time. Came out, went back and doing the same Ponzi scheme crap, and now is back in prison. They have the same name. So if Anthony's name had been that, I probably would have been like, oh God. But then I probably would have been like, you know what, Melanie? 3 times a charm. The 3rd time, like, maybe this will somehow be healing. You know what I mean? Same thing, like, every time I saw a Pathfinder, a Nissan Pathfinder, for a few years after leaving the hobo, I was like, ugh, right? Like, obviously names. I mean, if Anthony's name had been Chad, okay, that would have been hard, okay? But still, I would never just be like, I'm not calling you that. You don't look like that. Like, are you a sociopath? Then I got to thinking, I'm like, why do I have such a strong reaction to Nikki Haley, who I don't like because all the things, trying to change her husband's name? And then I'm like, oh, I never get this strong reaction from the fact that like men just expect us to do this with our last names. Our last names is how we trace back our families. It's what connects us to everyone that came before us. Now, some of us don't want that connection, right? But still, like, it's history. Oh God, look. Why do we still normalize this? Like, seriously, stop letting men name the baby. You carried that baby. You almost died giving birth to that baby, probably. You're gonna piss your pants for the rest of your life because of that baby. He didn't do literally anything but, like, come in you. And then he's probably not doing much. Stop letting him name your baby.